always promoting continuing education in dentistry. What do you consider the very best CE you can get?
So CE comes in a lot of different forms, and I've taken CE just one-on-one from a great ceramist, and I always learn something there, technique or a material or a super little trick, and clinicians can do the same. CE comes in, magazine articles and video, but when you're live listening to somebody and they're a good presenter, a good teacher, a good communicator, and they know their material, then that's great CE. In the circles that I run with, then I would say Frank Spear is probably the top of that list. But then what I consider the best CE, and for several reasons that I'll just mention, is a really great study club. And it has to be a study club that'll be consistent and be here year after year, because the members get to know each other. And that's one of the big things, is that you build a dental community in your area or in your town. And these guys get to know each other really well, and aren't afraid to call and say, hey, what would you do in this situation? Or what was that we went over last time? I've got this in my chair right now. Just that peer-to-peer friendship is really valuable. The next thing is that you can be really on your toes about who you invite in to the club and who the speakers are. We bring in a few national speakers that we pay quite a bit of money to. We check them out. The Seattle Study Club gives us a list of who's good and who's trending, and who the clubs really like. And we do that because it's great to bring these guys in and stay on the cutting edge of dentistry. We also have peers that will contribute, and our specialists are amazing at their presentations, and everybody says they like that the most. In a study club, you can go from everything, right from your CPA and your finances to physical back ailments, or learning how to do something completely off the wall, or stay right in clinical. Now, we really focus on treatment planning, and treatment planning is fun. You can do that in teams. You can do that one-on-one, and with different cases, people come up with different answers, and usually there's not a wrong answer, but it's really great to see how other people perceive that kind of a situation. So I would consider a good study club the best CE you can invest in.
Okay, thank you. What does a typical Seattle Study Club meeting consist of?
So we want everybody to get to know everybody else. And so when you get there, then we have hors d'oeuvres and stand around and talk and introduce if you don't know somebody there, and guys kind of congregate with their friends, and everybody gets together just as kind of a bonding thing there that won't happen anyplace else. And then we'll have dinner. And dinner is just a great social time that really doesn't happen in other study clubs. But the dinner is very important. It's always top high-class food and great service. We make sure of that. But the dinner affords a time to relax and really get to know your neighbor. And then we'll have the presenter start, and whatever he's presenting on, we're in a great venue. We make sure that there is great lighting, the temperature's right. You can see everything he has to present, and you can hear well. We make sure of all of that. So they last typically 2 to 3 hours, but 2.5 hours generally. And you come out of that feeling refreshed. You've learned something new. You've possibly made a new friend, and generally the meetings consist of that.
Okay, and how much does it cost to be a member?
So the fees are, they kind of run the gamut. There's 260 Seattle study clubs in the United States, and a few kind of scattered around the world. And everybody sets fees according to normally how many national speakers they want to bring in, and then according to their area. And a lot of people say have a booze budget, and they have to have a lot higher fees than us because we go dry at our meetings and choose to put that money into better speakers or a high-end learning situation or hands-on something. So our fees are $2,100 a year, and that includes 9 meetings. And I've heard fees ranging from $1,300 into $4,000. So it runs the gamut, but I can promise you that that's a small fee to pay for the value that you receive.
Okay, so how many CE credits does your club offer?
Oh, that's a good question, and I get asked all of these questions through the year. And the CEs generally are around 30 to 35. We usually have a few hours that we'll put in on certain meetings. So if you sign up for a club, and most clubs are like ours, I assume, and we're probably really steady between 30 and 35 CE hours.
Okay. And just to wrap up here, are there any other clubs that you direct?
Oh, yeah, thanks. So the Seattle Study Club takes about all of my time and all of the time of an assistant that I hire. It's a pretty big job. I do direct a hygiene club, and that's been really fun. And in fact, it's grown larger than my dentist club, the Seattle Study Club, just because all of the hygiene around here have to travel for their CE, and so they can stay here and get that CE, and we provide them with high-end continuing education. So I'm a believer in continuing education, and I think that it makes a big difference in the value and in the overall dentistry world and the area that we live in. It brings up the quality in almost every way. And so I'm very dedicated to that, and I know the Hygiene Club loves this. The Seattle Study Club, the dentists there, they come back year after year. They love it, but it's because it provides a super value. So all in all, the Seattle Study Club, look for one in your area. And this is Scott Emmett. Have a good day.